Welcome back to Little White Books. This is episode 7. In our last episode, the fourth wave landshift reshaped more than just the map, forcing Dillydale's humans into Nonsenseland. Now, tensions rise as 13 new books arrive, and yet with them, 14 new Mr. Men.
Hello, I'm Dotty. Like Mr. Strong and Mr. Clumsy, I arrived unannounced without my book. The king of Nonsenseland met me first and started planning a party. We have big festivals here. But Mr. Nonsense came and took me away. He hid me and told everyone to forget they'd seen me. He has a strange way of talking, but I just about understood him.
Behold the pointed star.
He explained about how I was at risk. I could be undone, disappear forever, basically. This was not nonsense. In his own special way, Mr. Nonsense said because of me, Nonsenseland would grow.
A key idea in this episode is the presence of a select few, the patriarchs of each land, who held not just constitutional roles, but also a kind of privileged insight that came with the position.
It might be because he's patriarch, but Mr. Nonsense, he just got it.
Down with nonsense.
An unlikely witness to the events that unfolded in Nonsenseland was Mr. Chatterbox. After a 3-hour interview with him, I was able to gather about 6 minutes of usable material. Here's a clip.
Oh yes, I lived there too. My house was a giant shoe. Don't ask me why, I haven't a clue. I did ask actually, because I'm not known for anything remotely shoey. No footwear affiliations at all.
What about Chatterbox Cottage?
Oh, I rented that out to Mr. Muddle.
Didn't he live in Muddleland?
Oh no, he avoided Muddleland like the plague. That's an amazing story.
We were talking about Nonsenseland.
Yes. It was the day of the Nonsenseland Cup. You know, the biggest festival of the year. To be honest, the only day of the year you could get a proper meal. The rest of the time, you're expected to eat things like Wellington boots or traffic cones.
But I understand there were a lot more humans around that year.
Oh yes, some of them were protesting. They wanted to reclaim their part of Dillydale and were shouting, "Down with nonsense!" It was very disruptive. Terrible for conversation. Let me tell you about the worst conversation I've ever had.
Well, no thank you, not right now. Do you know what their plan was?
Replace the king, I suppose. He'd be the first to admit he was, let's say, not entirely switched on. He wasn't really equipped to deal with much beyond hosting parties and dabbling in a bit of performance art.
What did the king need to do?
Things like, provide sanitation, clean water, food, some kind of police force. Just not the sort of stuff he was used to. Like I said, you had to buy into the nonsense. If you didn't, then you'd have to go to another town and eat there before coming back.
Mr. Nonsense's treetop apartment is immaculate, but there wasn't room there, so I went to stay at Mr. Silly's house. My first bed was literally made of straw. The day had been pretty traumatic, so I was just grateful for somewhere safe.
Mr. Silly, can you tell me more about your friendship with Mr. Nonsense?
We spent most of our days together, laughing at nothing and everything. Maybe he was jealous, I don't know. But when Miss Dotty arrived, I was over the moon. It meant Nonsenseland was safer, more secure.
And of course, that's when I met himself, Mr. Silly, my best friend in the whole wide world, my silly old fool.
As soon as I saw her, I laughed, and then she laughed at me, and then she laughed at my silly laugh, and I laughed at her funny face.
About an hour's drive away, along one of the new roads that had materialised the year before, was another land, Topsy-Turvy Land. Its patriarch had begun recording a daily diary, intended one day for a set of memoirs. The books were never written, but those recordings now help us understand this key turning point in Mr. Men history.
Nonsenseland.
The grubby humans are at it again. I haven't the faintest idea what precisely unfolded last night, but I did receive a telephone call from Mr. Clever. Yes, him. No, not one of his usual plots to unseat poor Mr. Dizzy. He rang, rather gravely I might add, to report that Mr. Dizzy's house had been set ablaze by humans, apparently, reduced to rubble. And where did he flee? Nonsenseland. Yes, I know. A terribly poor choice. The locals didn't take kindly to it. A final straw, you might say. They threw out every Mr. Man they could find. Chased off Mr. Chatterbox mid-sentence, I'm told. That backfired splendidly. Next they turned on the king. And once he was gone, well, up went the finger at the patriarch. Seems mere nonsense still carries some clout. The anti-Mr. Men humans were thrown out instead. And where did they try next? You guessed it, Topsy-Turvy Land. Fortunately, the defense is held, and I must say my gardens never look lovelier. Each time a human tries to sneak in, another flower blooms. Delightful. I suspect Mr. Clever took a more direct approach. Far less sentimental than I, but just as firm. Now, patriarch or not, there's no way Mr. Snooty will house them. So I imagine they'll slink back to nonsense. But will Mr. Nonsense be able to handle it? Doubtful. Unless someone gives him a gentle nudge. When I last visited, I left him a glossy brochure of Paris. I do hope he takes the hint. I need him to fetch me something while he's there, and if he does, I may just help him secure something rather tall, extremely heavy, and ideally entirely upside down.
To fact-check some of this, I spoke to Mr. Clever.
Absolutely no humans were harmed at that time. If you have heard otherwise, then it is a falsehood put about by Mr. Dizzy. If any of them died, then it was likely his fault too.
I understand there was some kind of association for patriarchs at this point.
That is correct.
Did you advise Mr. Nonsense on what to do?
He had misjudged the situation and thought that winning the cup would somehow inspire people. He had made some kind of jelly helicopter, I told him. No, if you want to step up, you must first step away. Learn how humans live, what they need.
With the king dethroned and Mr. Nonsense invited to step back, a democratically elected leader was put in his place. It didn't go well. Here's Mr. Muddle, who was a regular visitor to Nonsenseland.
Nonsense people wanted their nonsense back. Muddle given flyer, that's piece of paper with word from photocopier. Flyer was A5, but posters were A4.
Okay. And what did they say?
Make Nonsenseland nonsense again. And then it said to do that then, you must give this flyer to someone, and that was that. Muddle confused.
Mr. Nonsense had the foresight to see what was happening beyond our little world, but then he left. I was in hiding for just over a year. If I needed to nip out, I'd put on this daft ginger wig and paint my nose yellow so I could pass as Miss Late, with a suntan. It was quite fun at first, but pretending to be someone else started getting a bit awkward. It made everyone horribly paranoid.
For the first time ever, Mr. Nonsense was making sense, completely devoid of absurdity. He said, if Mr. Land happens, then Nonsenseland will suffer. My ego must have been too big for my hat that day, because I was not kind in my response.
But yeah, I was there when they had that big fallout. It was weird because it was so real. It wasn't the stuff of Nonsenseland. It was all about safety and loyalty.
You're not Mr. Nonsense. You're him, aren't you? You're tricking me. Take off that hat and that red nose, because I can tell it's you under there, Happy. I was wrong. He went travelling for a while after that.
Hey, Mr. Nonsense, let's travel the world. See the humans playing, then go meet the worms. Spread nonsense, go make the people laugh. Only you can do it, but first have a bath.
Miss Late, can you tell us what happened when Dotty was staying with Mr. Silly?
Yeah, poor Dotty. I didn't really mind her pretending to be me. She wasn't doing anything wild. Just popping out for her hair or getting her nails done. Nothing like the stuff I was getting up to at the time, like that's why I owed Happy a favour anyway. I was living in Nonsenseland back then. My house was shaped like a giant snail. It was warm, but the plumbing was rubbish. The drains were so slow, I could have alphabetised the fridge before the sink emptied.
And that's when Happy got involved, yeah?
Yeah. Not directly, obviously. He's too smooth for that. But I got the message crystal clear. I was meant to go around to Mr. Silly's and give him a bit of a warning.
What did you say to him?
I just said, Happy knows. And then I told him, if he wanted Dotty to stay safe, he needed to keep himself indoors for a bit, lock the doors. The official line was that it was to protect him from the humans. But really, I'd heard one of Happy's mates owed him a favour. It was proper awkward, but Silly got the message. If he didn't play along, Happy wouldn't be his friend anymore. You are paying for this interview, yeah? I accept euros, by the way.
Hey, Mr. Nonsense, it's time to say goodbye.
As they say in Nonsenseland, this is himself, Mr. Nonsense.
Now it's time to cry.
In Paris was I, painting portraits of balloon animals. The children called me Monsieur Bizarre. Day of 1, message arrived. Pink courier pigeon, wearing a bowler hat.
Bonjour.
Nonsenseland. A message from Miss Dotty, the Dorothy herself. The correspondence concise, just 2 words. Come home. I didn't flush away any precious timepieces. Bag packed, some fish, love letters to the Mona Lisa, oh, and hat stand.
Au revoir, Monsieur Bizarre. Vous allez beaucoup me manquer.
Said goodbye to my friends at La Café Ridicule.
Bonne chance au pays du non-sens.
'Tis where I sometimes broke dishes to help pay my rent. Bedroom above trombone shop. Mr. Happy had made his move. I could taste it in the air. Bitter lemon. Appetite for conquest on tip of Mr. Happy's tongue. It was Dorothy. It was Mr. Silly. They were indangerous. I hadn't been there for them. Wasn't there when itself arrived, the thingamajig that changed everything. I was late to party, but I was the only one who was ready, steady, go.
Miss Curious, your phone is ringing. It's on the pile of colouring books. You need to understand, that was just before Mr. Land. Wizards had become this terrible threat, so no one was worried about what Mr. Happy was doing.
I asked Mr. Greedy for his view.
Right, look, let me tell you the big facts about Nonsenseland. Happy didn't care much about its size. He just wanted more land for the Mr. Men. Expanding bit by bit into Dillydale, Nonsenseland was already under his umbrella, so the bigger the better. Like me. The real issue was the humans. But plenty of humans still lived in Dillydale's 3 main towns. Nosy's Tiddletown, Noisy's Wobbletown, and Snooty's Big Town. Altogether about 2,000 humans. Split across the towns, that's around 300 per town. Not perfect, but manageable. The problem was the other 1,000 people. Let me say that again. There were 1,000 humans living in Nonsenseland. So, of course, when Happy heard the Patriarch had gone away, he made his move.
This is Mr. Muddle.
Muddle went to Nonsenseland to buy salt and vinegar biscuits. Shopman said no and new sign. No Mr. Men, human only, not your kind here.
And Mr. Dizzy.
Hello, I come from Cleverland. When I was new, all the flowers, birds and animals wanted me to be their king, because I am not clever, and I am good. A few years later, the Patriarch came, and he wanted to be king, not me. The flowers, birds and animals didn't like this. So Mr. Clever said I wasn't allowed in Cleverland anymore. So I moved to Nonsenseland. When the tape came, I didn't know what to do or where to go. I was very scared.
Through everyone's letterbox arrived a cassette tape. It looked like a Mr. Men story tape. It looked official, part of the magic. The big magic that creates us.
This is Miss Shy.
I'll never forget it. Some of us didn't have tape players, so we had to go round to our friends' houses to listen. I went to Miss Magic's house, and she was too scared to press play. I didn't understand why, but I was scared because she was scared. We pressed play together. It was the voice of Happy, a message from on high. I still have my copy. I don't throw away anything. But I'll never play it again. It would probably make me cry.
My friends, I come to you with an urgent call. We face two relentless forces, wizards and humans, working against us to destroy everything we hold dear. Our distance from one another weakens us, leaving us scattered and exposed. Alone we are powerless. If attacked, we will be undone, one by one, extinguished like candles. We once believed our magic could protect us, but it is not enough to shield us from this growing threat. Recently we captured a wizard. Our plan was to hold him to account, lock him away, so he could not harm any of us again. But now more wizards are coming, ready to free their ally and exact revenge. The wizard we caught had been hiding in Nonsenseland, protected by a faction of humans who plotted to overthrow their king and place the wizard in power. By stopping them, we disrupted their plans, but others are now on the move. The humans have also become a growing threat, their fear intensifying as our numbers have risen. Many of us have been expelled from Dillydale, and wherever we go now, we do so with caution. In Nonsenseland, those loyal to the king have blamed us for their failures. They have exiled Mr. Nonsense and imprisoned Mr. Silly under house arrest. They spread fear and hatred, stirring public opinion against us, while their land teeters on the edge of civil war. But there is hope. Together we can build something greater, Mr. Land. A community for all of us, red, green, yellow or blue, male or female. A society where we are free, equal and safe. As patriarch, I have lived a privileged life in Happy Land, but I am ready to give that up to create a better future for all of us. Mr. Land is not just a refuge, it is a promise of unity, safety and belonging. To make this dream a reality, you must act now. Staying where you are leaves you vulnerable. If you live in the north, head south immediately. The wizards are coming down from Coldland. If you are isolated in the forests, make your way to either Happy Land or Mr. Snooty's manor in Big Town. Do not remain alone. There is strength and safety in numbers. If you see humans approaching, do not hesitate. Run as fast as you can. Come to Mr. Land.
Mr. Silly placed it down, but as soon as the tape finished, he was outside with his fishing rod. He hooked a flying steam train, tied it to the house, and started towing us all the way to Happy Land. Once we left Nonsenseland and reality kicked in, the whole house collapsed.
The Mr. Men weren't the only ones who heard the tape. To many humans, it sounded like a declaration of war. Their former friends had drawn a line, and with the king gone, fear filled the gap. Someone was needed to bring calm. This is what Miss Scatterbrain saw.
I lived on the outskirts of Nonsenseland and would see Mr. Nonsense quite often. Before he went away, he always made me laugh and I'd missed him. The idea that he was the patriarch made me smile. He was no leader. He may be a brilliant artist, but he couldn't even speak proper English. Now he was expected to lead his people through a crisis. What could he possibly do? A 50-foot oil on canvas that said, "Surrender to Mr. Land."
People of Nonsenseland, listen now. Ears on your faces pointing forward to mouth of mine. Without nonsense this day, terrible day, Mr. Land has arrived, and humans, yourself short of safety. Many coming here. Make ready. New homes to be make welcome. Give love, silliness, and being well. Fence to be drawn like dot to dot along edge of land. There Mr. Land of green. Remember too, other Mr. Men most welcome and not of poor intention. But residency to them not of acceptance, beds of Mr. Land made. our nation now. All of us safe. Patriarch for you. Curtain of safety for all. Further insurance now. Nonsense resumes day after today. Trickery contained within garment sleeve.
We'll keep Nonsenseland safe for you. Heart so strong, it's what we do. We'll rescue humans from Mr. Man and bring them laughter once again.
The next morning, in the middle of the land, a full-size Eiffel Tower had been thrust into the ground, upside down, like a stake into the heart of a vampire. Mr. Nonsense stood proud. The trick up his sleeve showed them, that Nonsenseland wasn't going anywhere.
Eiffel Tower lookalike, guaranteed cup winner. Credit mine, but endeavours out of sight and not mention.
Oh yes, the upside-down Eiffel Tower. I called it the Awful Tower. There's nothing like a 300-metre-high bit of cast iron to make a political statement. I could see it from my bedroom window. Nonsenseland magic, I suppose. A whole different reality, where things like that could just appear overnight. He says he'd gone to Paris, but I didn't think he'd bring back a major landmark.
Happy had set his plan in motion. But the unrest that humans had lived through in recent months was now spilling into the world of the Mr. Men. Mr. Land rose out of that disorder. We'll look at how it all began next time. As we draw to a close, we hear from someone who stood firmly at Happy's side, Mr. Snow.
Nonsenseland had always been a silly place. Flying cows, grasshopper cricket matches. Now it was a sovereign state of its own, a refuge for those who didn't want to live in Mr. Land, or weren't allowed. That was never his plan. It was meant to be part of Mr. Land. In his desperation to build a new nation, Happy unknowingly created two. One for us, one for the humans.
This is Mr. Snooty.
From my manor in Big Town, I could see a large number of Mr. Men running around like startled chickens. There was a queue of traffic in the middle of the night. Mr. Funny was in his shoe car, honking his horn. There were Mr. Men with suitcases at the bus stop. I shouted at them, "Why are you waiting there? There's no night bus, you fools!" Then Funny got out of his car and started letting the air out of his tyres, effectively blocking the entire road.
Nice night for a walk!
I'd had enough of him.
Ah, Mr. Slow, always at the back of the queue.
Mr. Wrong, it's all so thrilling, don't you think? The whole town's rushing off. Aren't you going to join them?
Look at that panic, just like the humans last year. And look what happened to them.
But we'll be safe in Mr. Land, won't we? I trust Mr. Happy. He says it'll all settle down.
Safe? Maybe. Eventually. But that tape of his, it's all fiction. I want it to be true. I want the torches, the mobs, the wizards cloaked in fire opening a portal to hell, just once.
Oh, that's nice.
I just want to see. I want it to be real.
Me too, just a little bit. Oh dear, Mr. Fussy's car's on fire now.
What a shame. And so soon after his house burnt down too. Maybe that's our future. Maybe even Mr. Land will burn.
Goodness, I really do hope you're wrong.
In Episode 7 of Little White Books, Ejikeme Etudo played Miss Dotty, with Simon Jackson as Mr. Nonsense and Rob Jones playing Mr. Silly. Pete Hazell was Mr. Greedy, Pete McGiffen was Snooty, and Paul Walsh played Mr. Dizzy. Flute the voice was Mr. Snow, and Mandy Woods played Miss Scatterbrain. Everyone else played themselves.
This production is unofficial and not connected to, approved by, or licensed by the rights holders of the Mr. Men and Little Miss characters. Mr. Men and Little Miss are trademarks of THOIP, a Sanrio company. All rights to the original characters and stories belong to them. You'll also hear versions of the theme song, all friends together, throughout the series. The original was written by Dave Cook.
The Mr. Men and Little Miss books are published in the UK by Farshawe, an imprint of HarperCollins, and in France by Hachette Jeunesse. You can support this podcast by buying Mr. Men or Little Miss books of any kind from a bookshop near you before they all get closed down.